Hey guys, I'm Tobias. Welcome to VFX vlog number 3, where we'll answer some general filmmaking and visual effects questions. In today's vlog, I'm going to talk about the software I use for filmmaking and visual effects. Then I'm going to show you where you can find some great free stock footage elements as well as audio online for your own film projects. And lastly, I'm going to answer a very common question, which is sometimes when you download free stock footage off the internet and import it into After Effects, you get a big black box around your stock footage element. And I'm going to show you how to get rid of it. Let's first talk about the software I use for filmmaking and visual effects. As you probably know, I am using the Adobe suite, which now goes by the name of Adobe Creative Cloud, which is a subscription-based licensing model. Basically, I'm paying a monthly fee and I get access to all of Adobe's products as well as all of their updates and new versions. Now obviously the main programs I use are Adobe Premiere for all my editing needs, Adobe After Effects for all the visual effects, and if you've seen any of my tutorials from my main channel, you know that is my main weapon of choice. But I also sometimes use Photoshop for some image editing as well as Adobe Audition for some of the audio edits that I want to do. On top of that, I also have Adobe Lightroom, which I use a lot because I'm a photographer, but not so much for filmmaking needs. And I also have Adobe Speedgrade. Now, Speedgrade is for color grading and color correction, but because there are so many great plugins available now for After Effects and Premiere, you can do color grading and color correction right inside Premiere and After Effects, so I don't really use Speedgrade all that much. Now, everyone loves big visual effects with explosions and smoke and debris and blood splatter. For all of those things, I usually end up using Actions Essentials 2 from Video Copilot, which is a great collection of stock footage elements. They're all pre-keyed and they're all really high quality, but I think it costs $99, which, well, is worth the money. But if you don't want to spend any money, let me quickly show you the best places that I have found online where you can get free stock footage. One place I recently found is FootageCrate.com. Now, FootageCrate has a very large amount of royalty-free visual effects for video. So you can download muzzle flash, machine guns, blood splatters, random hands, fires, dust and smoke, some random other elements. Let's just jump into fire and explosions and download one of those ones. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at large explosion. Come on, internet. This is Australian internet for you. It really takes a long time. Yep, that's pretty cool. So let's just download this one for now. Comes down here as a zip file. Another great place I found is detonationfilms.com, which I've used to use, but all of their elements are not pre-keyed. So you have to do a little bit of cleaning up. So you've got effects stock footage, you can just click on that one, and then it's a little bit unorganized, but they do have a whole lot of things like bloods and clouds and debris and dirt and explosion, and there's some pre-keyed ones as well. Let's go for fireballs. So this one, for example, is a free fireball. Let's download that as well so we can have a look at that. Now in terms of audio, I also found a really good resource for audio, which is freesound.org. Now, freesound.org is a really big database of sounds and they're all categorized by licenses. So what I can do is I can search for explosion, for example. And then one thing I want to do is here are licenses. So what I want to do is I want to go to Creative Commons 0 license, because that means I can use these sounds in any way I want and I don't have to credit anyone for it. So you can just play them back and listen what they sound like. That's not bad, and there's a whole bunch of them. Some of them are a bit weird, but you can find a lot of really great sounds here. But let me quickly show you. So here are the two files on my desktop. Let's extract them here. So we've got these two explosion files. They're both MOV files, which is a QuickTime format. Now, sometimes people get problems with these files and they try to import them into After Effects and it doesn't work and it tells them the file is corrupted or damaged or not supported. Most of the time, you're simply missing QuickTime. MOV is a QuickTime format. If you don't have QuickTime installed on your computer, After Effects can't recognize the file. So try to play the file outside of After Effects. If you can't play the file, go to Google, search for QuickTime and install it. And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to play the file and you'll also be able to import it into After Effects. So now what I'm going to do is going to pop open After Effects. I just got a really, really simple clip here. I think you've seen this plenty of times if you watch some of my tutorials for explosions. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to drag those two things into there. Imports the items. So this is the stock footage element that I got from FootageCrate.com. Let's just drag it into the middle of the screen. And if I play this back, now this looks pretty funky. Now, one thing you will notice is that this is pre-keyed. So You don't have a black border around it. So that's one of the things I really like about the footage that comes from footagegrade.com. All of the elements are pre-keyed, which makes it a lot easier for you to add them into the scene and use them. If I drag in the clip from detonationfilms.com, make that a little bigger, go to the beginning. Now that is a pretty cool effect. Once in slow motion, it seems. Obviously, you do have the logo from Detonation Films at the beginning, but you can simply trim that out anyways, and then you just got the explosion starting. But yes, you do have the huge black box around it. Now, one thing that you can do that is you can go to your blend modes, which you can get by clicking on the toggle switch as a modes button at the bottom and changing the blend mode to add. Obviously, this is not always what you want because it does make the explosion quite faint. For fireballs, that usually works. For smoke, it doesn't usually work very well. So let's set that back to normal. Another choice you have is simply to use a color key. So in After Effects, you go to your Effects and Presets panel over on the right side, and you search for your color key effect. Simply apply this effect to your layer, pick the black, and then obviously you've got some black fragments here. You can increase the tolerance to trim out more and more of the black. Let's trim out a little bit more, maybe like so, and that doesn't look too bad. Now obviously this one kind of doesn't sit too well in the scene because it's just not blended in very nicely. But that was one effect you can use. Obviously you can just kind of feather that out a little bit so it doesn't look quite as dark. So let's increase it. So you can just decrease the tolerance a little bit and that actually looks a whole lot better. There you go. And that is how you remove the black bar around your videos. And that's it for this VFX vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any non-tutorial related questions, just leave them below, leave them on my Facebook or my Twitter and I'll get around to answering them. If you want to show some support, please subscribe, like the video, share it around. It really helps out a lot. And I also recommend that you check out my main channel. Hop over there and check out some of the VFX tutorials that are on there. But I hope I'll see you in the next vlog. Until next time, I will see you later.